Tomorrow, I'm going to look at the week of videos of Nancy Mace obsessing about which bathroom trans Congresswoman Sarah McBride is going to use when she's sworn in to her seat in the House of Representatives. Nancy Mace clearly seeing an opportunity to get on Fox News, and she's going out of her way to make a lot of noise about trans bathroom issues in Washington, D.C. But that's tomorrow. Today, I want to talk about something else involving Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace is very much like a lot of these other easily triggered MAGA people, which is they want the attention, they want to be interviewed, they want a microphone, they want a camera in front of their faces, but they don't really want to answer serious questions. They like punditry that's friendly to them, but they don't like journalism where real questions are asked. And Nancy Mace agreed to be interviewed by Scripps News, and she had a complete and total meltdown because she didn't like the questions that the anchor was asking about the Boeing layoffs in her home state of South Carolina, the state which she represents. This is emblematic. This is the microcosm that we've been talking about of how these people operate. Give me attention, give me interviews, let me answer questions, but not those questions. Ask me about how we're going to courageously bring back Merry Christmas under Trump, or ask me about how I am bravely going to force trans women into the men's bathroom because that's what I want to do. She doesn't want to talk about layoffs, but that's what she's asked about, and she attacks the interviewer.
I am giving you the chance to address the Boeing layoffs here. Have you posted anything about that? Have you made any comments about that publicly? What are you going to do for your constituents about that? I looked on your social media. I did not see anything regarding the Boeing layoffs, and I'm sure that is going to impact people in the Palmetto State in South Carolina.
You are incredulous and so insulting to women. Number one, it was just announced yesterday. And before I make a comment on any company's position or, firing their employees, I'm going to get all the facts and understand what's really going on so that I don't shoot from the hip prematurely. It's just like when the monkeys were released 2 weeks ago by Alpha Genesis Lab, again in my district. I had a meeting with the CEO before I commented publicly. It's really, I think, important to be deliberative when it comes to people who are going to lose their jobs. It's important to get the facts before commenting on something prematurely. I think my voters and my constituents deserve that. I will tell you, no one will work harder than I will for South Carolina.
Notice how there's no answer or even a semblance of accountability. I mean, this is just completely vapid. Women's, what is she talking about? Women.
Tens of millions of dollars in resources to my district because people need them, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's women's issues, whether it's cybersecurity. I sit on the oversight committee, work on a lot of cybersecurity issues. I have worked diligently 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and nothing some left-wing journalist like you can say will stop me from working hard for the people of South Carolina.
This is both a completely abortive answer. It fails to be an answer. It's just not an answer. But it's also a classic answer that we get from MAGA. You don't like the question or the premise of the question. You don't like the facts. You just make up your own. You misdirect, deflect, and of course, attack the person who is asking the questions here. And although this Boeing layoffs in South Carolina might not affect you, what happens here is textbook disinformation. First of all, rather than addressing the layoffs, she tries to bring up that these aren't the real issues. Classic move number one. Secondly, rather than addressing the layoffs, she brings up that under her representation in South Carolina, all sorts of money has come in for women's issues and infrastructure and all these different things. She fails to mention that that's money that's come in thanks to the Biden administration, despite many Republicans voting against a lot of that stuff. Now, I don't want to say all of it because there's a lot of bills that lead to money going to South Carolina. But much like has been the case with Lauren Boebert and others, the people who love to brag about the money I've brought into my southern state as a Republican often are people who voted against a lot of those projects, but then still want to claim credit for the fact that the money came in. And then finally, there's something really interesting going on with Nancy Mace here. in some sense, Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene have kind of been demoted. They have become so cartoonish, and I'm not saying Trump has denounced them, but they are less frequently interviewed. They're getting less media oxygen, and that's a good thing. Clearly, Nancy Mace has seen an opportunity here to try to align herself more publicly with MAGA. The entire trans bathroom gambit is very, very clearly an attention-grabbing thing. She's previously said she's a supporter of LGBT. And, you know, when the stakes were not about getting on TV and getting Trump's attention, her genuine views about LGBTQ plus individuals seem to be, I don't want to say enlightened, but it doesn't seem like it's a major issue for her. She sees this as there's a little bit of kindling that's smoking over there. I'm going to go over and fan the flames to really get this fire blazing. So we'll deal more with the trans bathroom stuff and Nancy Mace tomorrow, but understand that she is actively trying to get Trump and MAGA's attention. She wants to be the next Lauren Boebert or the next Marjorie Taylor Greene, as far as being aligned with Trump, saying all the right things, getting the media attention. And to be frank, she may succeed. You can't vapor smoke inside. You're tired of people seeing you put those little pouches in your lip. There is a nicotine alternative that people won't notice. Zippix nicotine toothpicks. Our sponsor Zippix makes the only nicotine toothpick on the planet that is FDA registered. You can use it anywhere: work, restaurants, airplanes, sporting events, after a meal. The toothpicks stay in a convenient little tube that goes in your pocket or on your keychain. It's way more convenient than carrying around a huge can of pouches all day or a whole bunch of gum or whatever the case may be. Zippix nicotine toothpicks come in flavors like peppermint watermelon, sweet wood, cinnamon, whiskey. If you're not a nicotine user, try out their B12 toothpicks with caffeine instead, a quick and easy alternative to coffee. Do your lungs a favor, cut the cigarette smoke, cut the vape juice. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com today. Save 10% with the code PACMAN10 at checkout. Just remember, you must be 21 or older to order. The link is down below.